So we'll close with, so managing this way, what does safety and risk management look like?
Okay. The discussion around safety and risk management actually requires maybe a full webinar. So we really have summarized a little bit around that to just bring out the concepts. But the key is that you really have to develop and align and implement your safety management through all levels. So it's from your board, your executive level, your organization level, through your project organization and your project, but your contractor and your contractor organization is important, and then work level. And it's so important that your workers must work with you. And it's also your unions that must work with you to really decide how you're going to manage and implement your safety. So the key core elements is management leadership, your hazard identification, your hazard prevention and control. Education and training is so key in this process. And your program evaluation and improvement and communication. But it's important that you really go through the whole stage gate process and your stages of your project and decide at levels. So when you do a pre-feasibility, you're going to do a high-level risk and opportunity and look at your killer concerns. Because if this is a major problem, then you can't really go ahead and start doing a feasibility if you can't do the project in that area. And your feasibility, you're going to look more in detail, your detailed risk assessment, your reviews, and you have to address all your risk already in these phases or decide which risk you're happy to accept and carry forward. Important that you actually bring some multi-step approach. It's really just applying what you're doing, but you will do ongoing safety strategy alignment, training, risk assessment, hazard. But in this phase, when you plan your job, you're just going to plan it to do it safely. It's an integrated approach. So risk planning and risk management is not a separate activity from actually doing your safety and your normal work. During commissioning, you're just continuing with the process. You're commissioning a risk, your hazard, safety talks, and then during the handover, you have to make sure that you're happy that the facility is safe for handover and that your operations are trained to take that over. So it's designed for safety with objectives, concept, design, and implementation. It's one process. Okay, James?
So very similar concept is that the safety strategy on IPD projects is everything that we've covered today. So it's about getting the teams involved early. It's about coordinating the work ahead of time. It's about involving the field in planning the work. And so this is one example from a project that's just wrapping up in downtown San Francisco. It has an integrated open book insurance program, so we can actually see what the costs are. So on a typical workers' compensation program, the cost would be about $1.20 per labor hour. And we found after building 1 million square feet that the actual cost on this project was only 13 cents per labor hour. So it's about 10 times more cost effective from the actual claims incurred on the job. And the one thing that I would say that really helped is they were asking the field for safety recommendations. So they would get as many as 400 safety recommendations in a month of things that could be improved. And it turned out if you graph the number of safety recommendations per month and the actual incidents per month, there was a direct correlation between the number of recommendations and a decrease in injuries. And when the recommendations started falling off, then the claims started going up. So the point being, it's a much more proactive build safety into the work as opposed to trying to police safety on the job. So with that, we're going to come to an end with this webinar. Like to thank everybody for participating. We do have the question and answer set up. In 2 weeks, again on Thursday, we will be doing the fourth and final webinar, which is going to talk all about creating and maintaining effective teams throughout the entire life cycle. So this will span the early feasibility stage all the way through the closeout and commissioning phase of a project. And so this is the soft skills, which in many ways is the thing that's much harder to achieve on projects.